ReQuiz review, graphing square root functions, questions number 3 and 4. Anytime you are graphing a square root, we want to start out with the parent function. So for number 3, we're going to plot the point 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, and 9, 3. And if we look at what we have here, we have y equals the square root of x minus 3 minus 1. And if you remember, we have y equals a times the square root of x minus h plus k. So we have this minus 3 underneath. That's your h. So you would think that would move it left 3, but it's actually going to move the points right 3 units. And this number outside of the radical is a k value. It's a negative. That means it's going to go down 3, or down 1. So we're going to take each point of our parent, move them right 3, and down 1. Starting with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 to the right, and down 1. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, down 1. 1, 2, 3, down 1. And we'll take this one, 1, 2, 3, and down 1. If it goes off the grid, that's okay. We'll connect our points. And there's your graph. Now to get your domain and range, we want to know the value of this vertex where it starts. So that would be the point 3, negative 1. So the x value would be the domain and the y value would be your range. So we're going to go to 3 and negative 1. And if you go to the right on x, it keeps going to infinity. For your range, if you go to the top, it keeps going up. That would also go towards infinity. So our domain is from 3 to infinity. Our range is from negative 1 to infinity. And again, those starting values come from this starting point right here, which is the vertex. Question number 4, we have y equals negative 3 times the square root of x plus 3. So we're going to start with the parent function again. 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, 9, 3. Now in this situation we have a number right here in front. This is an a value that will either stretch or shrink the graph. So to perform a stretch we need our table. So we have 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, and 9, 3. And what you do is you take each of the y values in the table and you multiply them by the a, which is negative 3. And that gives us our stretch points. So if we go through, 0 times negative 3 is 0. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So we'll plot those points. We have 0, 0, 1, negative 3. We have 4, negative 6. And we have 9, negative 9. Which is right here. Now, the negative in front reflected it across the x-axis. So it took the points that were above and made them go below. And then the 3 actually stretched them. So now, instead of going up 1 and over 1, we go down, over 1, and then down 3. Now, the plus 3 on the end is a k value. And k always moves it up or down. Because it's plus, it's going to go up 3. So take each of the purple points and move them up 3. And then connect your dots. And there's your graph. Now, the vertex is the point 0, 3. The x would be the domain, and the y would be your range for starting value. So we're going to go from 0, and then the range is at 3. Now, this one's a little different. So let's just go with the domain first. We start at 0 on the left side of the graph, and if you go to the right side on x, there's an arrow. It means it keeps going to the right. Now range is the bottom of the graph and the top. So if you take your finger and you just trace along the graph and you go to the very bottom, there's an arrow. That means it keeps going down. So that would be negative infinity on the y-axis. If you take your finger and trace the curve and you go up to the top, that y value is at 3. So your range is from the bottom at negative infinity up to 3 is where it stops.